Hey there everyone, welcome on into VG Emporium, video game music and more. I'm your host Rage Cage, and today we have another batch of SPOs, yes, more special orders. And for those of you that are new to the show, a special order is basically a song request, which I get either through Twitter at the VG Emporium, or the Discord, or email, which is vgemporium@gmail.com. And once I get enough of them, say 5 or 6, I'll do its own dedicated episode, like I'm doing today. So to get right into it, the song that we opened up with was Stormy Saxophone, or Arashi no Saxophone, the rival team theme, from King of Fighters 95, composed by the SNK Soundteam. And this here was special ordered in by Professor Tom of the Shujin Academy VGM Club, which is another VGM podcast that started around the same time as I did, and I actually had Professor Tom on as a guest not too long ago, in which we were looking into VGM that were connected to games that involved investigation. So now this song here, Stormy Saxophone, is the theme that plays for the rival team in KOF 5, and more primarily for Iori Yagami, who is the rival for Kyo Kusanage, who is the main character for at least the first arc of KOF. So now Iori Yagami, you look at the guy, and you'd imagine maybe he listened to something more kind of like industrial, or maybe some kind of metal or something, but nope. His musical taste leaned toward jazz fusion and funk, and so his theme was made to reflect this, very much as Kyo Kusanagi's themes were made to reflect his musical tastes. So, yeah, Iori likes the funky jazzy stuff even though he's kind of an edgy character. And so now this theme for Iori's theme would just carry through all the other KOF games, and there's like about maybe 6 or 7 different versions of this song. Or I should clarify, using the name Arashi no Saxophone or Stormy Saxophone, as well as Cool Jam. And they range from between variations on this original song to just songs that are just totally different but using the same sound. So now one last thing here is some nerd shit for you. The sound chip that's being used here is the YM2610, which has 4 FM channels, 4 pulse channels, and then 7 80PCM channels. 6 of them are only fixed pitch, and then the 7th one has variable pitch, so you can actually, something for another time, yeah. But so to break this down, the bass and the organs are FM generated, and then they're only using 4 of the 7 80PCM channels. The percussion and the guitar are being used by the fixed-pitched ones, and then the variable pitch 80PCM is being used for the saxophone, which is why it's able to be so as smooth as it is. And that's enough of that. Let's get into our next special order here. This is coming in from listener Crazygoji. He has requested something in from Gamera, Gyaos Gekimetsu Sakusen. This is the theme for Kawasaki and Fukuoka, and it was composed by Motoaki Takenouchi. that was the theme for Kawasaki and Fukuoka. From Gamera, Gyaos Gekimetsu Sakusen, composed by Motoaki Takenouchi. This was special ordered in by Crazygoji, and buddy boy, this here done surprised me what good. So on first hearing this song, you may think that maybe this is the theme for some weird, wacky fighting game character, but nope. It's in a strategy game, whereas you play as the JSDF, the Japanese Special Defense Force, and they're taking on Gamera and Gyaos, trying to stop them from destroying cities and stuff. It actually kind of fits because you're just little tiny army folks trying to take on these giant monsters. And from what I'm reading, it's quite dull. You would imagine that maybe a game that is based around Gamera, the friend to all children, you would be playing as Gamera taking on Gyaos and maybe avoiding the JSDF, but for some reason they gave you control of this army force that are trying to fight these two monsters, which is kind of silly. So what this game is a tie-in to a movie that was released the same year, Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, which is a reboot to the Gamera series in response to the Godzilla reboots that happened in the 90s. So I guess this game follows the movie loosely or something, whereas also some stages make references to past Gamera films. So now some folks may be asking, what is a Gamera? Well, he is a giant turtle-like monster thing, kaiju, that is, I don't know, there's many different origin stories, like, some are that it's just an ancient creature that was sleeping and got awoken by an atomic bomb test by the US. For some, it is a creature that was a protector of Atlantis, but either way, he's just a giant turtle, and apparently he is the friend to all, especially children. So now let me tell you about the fella that done composed this wacky song, and as to why it may sound somewhat familiar, and so this is Motoaki Takenouchi, and he is most well known for composing the music for the Shining Force series, amongst many other titles, starting with Jewel Master, then Evo Search for Eden, Air Combat 2 Special, Shining Force Gaiden, Shining Force The Sword of Haya, Shining Force 2, and Shining Force CD, Road Prosecutor, this here Gamera game followed right after those, Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict, Shining Wisdom, Gun Griffin, and SD Gundam Over Galaxian. And yeah, I like this song. I'm gonna have to check out the rest of this OST to see if it's just as wacky. So thank you Crazygoji for bringing this one to my attention. So now let's get into our next order here. And this one is coming in from Martyrist, host of ReVGM, and this is Pokemon Coliseum Normal Battle 8-bit remix made using the Konami VRC6. This was originally composed by Tsukasa Tawada, arranged by Mike Stoney, aka Bulby. And that was Pokemon Coliseum Normal Battle 8-bit remix made using the Konami VRC6 and FamiTracker, originally composed by Tsukasa Tawada and arranged by Mike Stoney, aka Bulby, and this was special ordered in by Martyrus. And let's see here, I listened to the original after listening to this, and I could say I prefer this over the original, and it has to do more with the instrumentation of the original. The composition is, pretty good. It's just that, just the sound of it is not really my thing, but this here I like. So now I'll admit here that the GameCube is like the N64, somewhat of a blind spot for me. I have played it. It was at friends. I never owned it. And I did emulate it later on. But this here game was not one of those things I ever touched. And so I don't really know much about it except the fact that it is a 3D Pokemon game. And you gotta battle or like capture shadow Pokemon or something. And then you gotta purify them. Yeah? I don't know. I'm probably gonna make myself sound like an old man here, but I haven't really liked Pokemon since Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I tried Ruby and Sapphire, and it just didn't really catch me. Could just be have I aged out of it. I don't know. The last Pokemon game I actually played was Heart Gold and Soul Silver via DS emulation. So, take that as you will. At least I'm not alone in not playing this game because the guy who did this remix, Bolby, Mike Stoney, did not play this game either. But hey, you hear a good song from a game you don't really know about, you just gotta go for it. So now Bolby is a chiptunist and primarily doing 8-bit and 16-bit stuff. When he does 8-bit, NES stuff, it's in Family Tracker using the base chip and the VRC6. And for 16-bit stuff, he's just using Logic Pro 9 and SNES sound fonts. And he largely seems to be doing remixes, though he does have some originals. And with the remixes, he does them all from ear, so not using using notations or MIDIs or anything like that, just all from ear, which is what I do as well. And yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into this guy. This is the first time I'm hearing about him. So thank you, Martyrs, for ordering this one in. And Martyrs, of course, is the host of ReVGM, which is a VGM podcast that focuses on arrangements and remixes of VGM. And, case in point this. So now, getting into our next special order here. This one isn't a remix. It's a alternate version of a very familiar track. So what we got here is Doomsday Zone Alternate, though a working title was The Toilet Lock is Stuck Ultra Deluxe Edition, and this is by John Tay, made using the combination of the YM2612, SN76489, and the YMZ280B in Furnace Tracker. And this was special ordered in by Pocket Ellery. was Doomsday Zone Alternate, working title, The Toilet Lock is Stuck, Ultra Deluxe Edition, and I forgot to note the bit that says featuring Hatsune Miku. And this is made by John Tay in Furnish Tracker using the combination of YM2612, SN76489, and the YMZ280B. And this is special ordered in by Pocket Ellery. So now this here song, you hear Doomsday Zone, you're like, hey, that's from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And yeah, what John Tay's been doing is making alternate versions of songs from that game, using like kind of weird kind of arrangements of other songs plus some original stuff mixed in there. I think I'm not quite sure. I can't really tell what's actually being arranged inside this track itself. But so this mad lad here, he was originally going to do this song with just the Mega Drive sound chipset, but then he said that's not enough. It doesn't achieve the sound I want, so he had to just throw in the YM2080B in there for those extra sample bits. The main percussion like the kick and snare are being used in the YM2612 sample channel, but the other things are like the hi-hat, there's a guitar that's going on in the background, and then of course Hatsune Miiku's vocals that show up at the very end. But yeah, so what to say about this actual song? It's like a crazy mashup of, Toby Fox's style with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, though in the video description he does say that he's taken direct inspiration from Otoha and Nakajima EQ, which as far as I can gather, Otoha is a vocalist for anime openings, and Nakajima EQ is a vocalist guitarist for a J-pop band. Anyway, one last thing I want to say about this guy is that when he finally feels comfortable enough to actually start doing his own original music, boy howdy, I don't think we're ready for it. And now I'll tell you, go follow him on SoundCloud and YouTube. He's regularly posting new stuff. And thank you Pocket Ellery for ordering this one in. So now we're getting into our last SPO here. This one is coming in from Alex the Messenger, and what we got here is Upper City from Robots, composed by Ian Stocker. Upper City from Robots, composed by Ian Stocker, and this is special ordered in by Alex the Messenger, host of the VGM Journey. So now I gotta ask, why am awesome demo-style tune inside not-so-great game, which is a tie-in for an okay CG movie? And a follow-up, how am sound so good on the GBA? Though this potentially could be the DS version, I don't know. When I found the soundtrack, it just said GBA DS, so... Bleh? So all I'm gonna really tell you about the game is, from what I've read, not really that good. The movie itself, it was okay. It was enjoyable at the time. But hey, it's got Mel Brooks and Robin Williams in it together. But hey, the one saving grace for this game is the music, which is by Ian Stocker, aka Magical Time Bean. And he has been composing music for games for the last 20 years, since 2002, starting with Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the Game Boy Color. And I could tell before this, he probably made music using trackers, because I found his Squarespace, which is the last post is from 2009, and he notes on there that his favorite tools that he made is this piece of software that allowed him to import the music that he made in Impulse Tracker into the Nintendo DS, which is pretty damn cool, and another lead into a future episode I'm planning on doing about demo style and tracker music inside the DS, because that, again, is a blind spot for me, and there's a lot of awesome music on that little console. So now back to Ian's game credits. Like I said, he started in 2002 with Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets, and he has been working on the Harry Potter games all the way up until Half-Blood Prince in 2009. And then his other credits include The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Daredevil, 007, Everything or Nothing, The Sims Bustin' Out, Digimon Racing, Crust Baseball, The Herbs, Sims in the City, Lemony Snicket's The Series of Unfortunate Events, The Herbs, Sims in the City, Lego Star Wars, the video game, The Sims 2, Shrek Super Slam, The Chronicles of Narnia. It's just way too many licensed games, but other ones are Burnout Legends, Spore Creatures, Zubo, Art Academy, Monster Tale, Escapegoat, 7 Grand Steps, almost said 7 Granddad, and Batbarian, the Testament of the Primordials. Though in 2010, he did found his own game company, the Magic Time Bean Incorporated, and the games they worked on are Soulcaster, Soulcaster 2, Scapegoat, and Scapegoat 2. But yeah, sounds like I'm gonna have to do some dumpster diving into those licensed titles because, within all that sludge are nuggets of gold, which are Ian's soundtracks. So thank you, Alex, for introducing me to his music, and you'll definitely be hearing more of his works in the future on this show. And that's all I got for you today. So I'd like to once more thank Professor Tom, Crazygoji, Martyrus, Pocket Ellery, and Alex the Messenger for their special orders. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming into VG Emporium. And if you'd like to have a song that you like played on the show, you can send a special order in to VG Emporium at vgemporium@gmail.com, or you can send a message to me on Instagram and Twitter, as well as join the Discord where there is a special order channel. And then if you do send a special order in, you can keep watch out for it on all the different podcatchers such as Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, Audible, and pretty much anything that pulls from those sources. And then, of course, there is the website, vgemporium.wordpress.com, where you can find all the episodes, as well as the show notes and links to all these things.